Welcome to Riverside Students Kickoff Part 2. We invite you to stand and worship with us. You guys sound great. We're going to move on to Overcome.
Will you guys bear with me? Dear Lord, I thank you so much that we got to come back this week for a second fall kickoff. And I pray that Pastor Tony's message will really speak to everyone here. And I pray that everyone will have open hearts and open minds to really take what Pastor Tony has to say. Amen.
please. Yeah, here we go. Let's try that again. Hey, hi everybody. How you doing? It's good to see y'all. Hey, listen, I was not here last week, and I got to see some photos from last week through the video that was made. That video, by the way, if you didn't catch it, it comprised our summer. Our summer here at Riverside Students was really a blessing, and we started with a service all throughout the summer. Look, I know it's been a weird year. And I know that as school has started, as school has started, a lot of you have been wondering, like, what will happen next? Some of you were here last week and you came back, and thank you for being here. And I wasn't here last week, and I'll tell you a little more about that later. But I just want to say to all of you, one of my joys in just watching that video was seeing how many of you uniquely have chosen to be here. And some of you I've gotten to know, and others I'm still getting to know. But, and if you're new, again, my name's Tony. I'm a pastor here, one of the pastors here. I got to tell you how grateful I am. Even standing in the back of this room and going and visiting some of the other spaces. I was in the 8th grade space. I was in the middle school space a little earlier. Just saying hi to you guys. I am so glad you're here. And I want you to have a great night tonight. We're going to do some stuff in this space for a little bit. And then we're going to go outside. We're going to do a color war. And everybody's going to get crazy messy. It's going to be awesome. So we're going to play a little game, though. And here's all I need you to do. Just find a buddy next to you. Say, we're playing. You and me right now. We're playing this game. We're totally going to do it. And this is a game that we're calling the Masked Celebrity, okay? I'm going to tell you right now, this will not be easy. This is not an easy game. It's not an easy game. But I want you to try. And you're literally just competing against the person that you've chosen, all right? And we'll do this for a moment, and then we'll kind of move on to some other stuff. All right, so basically the game is, can you guess the celebrity who is hiding behind the mask? Again, these are going to be hard, okay? So here's the first one. Take a look at this celebrity. See if you can guess who it is. Don't know. The answer is Jennifer Lopez. I know, right? Super hard. Not easy. Not easy. Okay, here's the next one. See if you can guess this person. What do you think this individual is? Some of you know, some of you don't know. The answer is Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel, late night talk show guy. Okay, here's another one. I don't know, this is a pretty hard one, I think. Let's see who this next one is. Take a peek. All right, let's take the mask off. The answer is Millie Bobby Brown. I know, right? Super hard. Okay, if anybody gets this one, you get like a double high five, an air high five. Okay, here's the next one. Next one. Okay, I don't know. I'm going to give you a hint. It's a musician. It's a musician. From like maybe the 80s, 90s. All right, the answer is Bono. Bono. Yeah. All right, you might get this next one more easily. Let's try this next one. Let's see here if you get it. Think who it is. Try keeping up with her if you maybe. The answer is Kendall Jenner. Kendall Jenner. All right. Here's the next one. Here's the next one. Okay? Okay. Here's the next one. Okay? Okay. Okay? Okay. 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 Kevin Hart is the answer. Kevin Hart. I was trying to give you a clue there with the okays. This was my best effort. Sorry. Okay. Next one. Very unique. The answer is Miley Cyrus. Okay. Let's try this next one. See if you get it. What's your name, man? There it is. Lin-Manuel Miranda. There you go. Okay. All right. Here's the next one. Here's the next one. Who might this be? may have passed away in a recent major franchise. Character, it would be Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett Johansson. Okay, last one. Oh, okay, listen. The girls get it like in seconds, right? I love it. It's so funny. Yes, if you don't know, the answer is Tom Holland, a.k.a. Spider-Man, a.k.a. Oh. So yeah, that's who it is. Now, obviously, some of these were a lot easier than others, super hard. The big takeaway, I hope you gather, is sometimes it is easy to hide behind a mask. Sometimes it is really easy, and sometimes it's so easy to hide behind a mask that other people can't recognize you anymore. And sometimes the masks that we choose, we don't even think of as masks, but they are. They're things that we hide behind to try to get by. We're kind of talking all this month and beyond about what it means to really walk the talk, what it means for us to step into it. By the way, before I forget, we've got these really cool t-shirts we made up with our new logo on them, and on the back side, we've got this Walk the Talk logo, and so if you didn't get one last week, or if we were out of your size, we might have one for you tonight. It's on you to remember, but they're in the hallway. Make sure you check and make sure you get one tonight, because we want to give you a free t-shirt. But the idea is that we would actually walk the talk, that we would choose to move forward even when life is crazy. We would choose to figure out what is the talk we should be listening to, and then take steps forward in that direction. And so this is all a part of a series we're doing called Hope in the Dark, and our church is going through this series on the weekends, and we are doing it as well. We're kind of doing our own version of it. And I want to talk to you tonight about a word. We're going to put it up here in a moment. When you see this word, I just want you to think about, and you can talk to your neighbor, the person you were just playing the game with, about the first thought or feeling that comes to mind when you see this word. All right, here's the word. The word is anxiety. When you see this word, tell somebody next to you, what do you think? What do you feel when the word anxiety comes up? Four, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Okay, I want to help you with this word, because this is apparently a very ugly word, and it doesn't need to be. I want to diffuse something. And if you're taking notes, by the way, we put notes on your chair. There are some spaces for you to fill in some of these things, and especially this one right here. I want to make sure you get what I'm about to share with you, because it could change how you view anxiety. Anxiety is, at its very core, your body's natural response to stress. When you are stressed, and we all are, sometimes in varying degrees for varying reasons, when you're stressed, anxiety, in its most technical definition, is your body's natural meaning it is something that we all experience. It is your body's natural response to stress. Now, you can live in anxiety, which creates a bigger deal than it actually is meant to be. But anxiety can actually save you. When you are in a dangerous space and you feel the stress of something is not right, you, through anxiety, might realize, I need to make some very wise decisions in the next few moments to save yourself pain, to save yourself trouble. But anxiety can also be something that drives our lives, and that is actually an unnatural response. What we want to do is celebrate the natural gift that anxiety can be. In other words, like, wow, something's not right, I need to fix this, versus camping out. And in a coming week, we're actually going to spend time talking about what it means to deal with fear versus what it means to live afraid all of our lives. So we're going to spend more time on that in a coming week. Tonight, I want to give you a very quick overview. So anxiety is really, again, this very natural idea. So I want to just propose a question for you, and this is what we're talking about tonight. What do you try to get by? In other words, when you are stressed, when you have anxiety in your life, what do you tend to try to get by? In your notes, I don't have this on the screen, but in your notes, there's actually a photo of somebody whose shoes have been tied together. And in many ways, this is what we can let anxiety do to us. We can kind of tie our shoes together and try to move through life very limited and very stuck. And honestly, I'm just going to say this for those of you who need to hear this. For a lot of us, we can't solve that ourselves. We need to talk to somebody. We need to find ways to learn new truths, to untie our shoes. But others, you can go, what am I doing? And you find a way to untie your own shoes. And that's great if you can do that. But most of us, myself included, I have found great value and great benefit in getting help and perspective from other people around me who have either they're just a further down the road than I am in life, or they've seen something, or they think about life, or give me new wisdom in such a way that I grab hold of it. Now, the question again is, what do you try to get by? And I'm just going to give you a few quick thoughts on what I've observed a lot of us try to get by. A lot of us try to drift toward to survive the anxiety that we feel. The first is quotes and memes. Quotes and memes, all right? And you're like, what do these two things have in common? I'll explain those in a moment. But quotes are just those things that we grab hold of, and they're these thoughts that we latch onto. That was smart, Thanks for the wisdom, fortune cookie. Like there's that. And then there's memes, which are these sort of sarcastic summaries that we approach life with. Now, when it comes to the quotes in our lives, I'm going to give you one that I hear a lot of, and I want to talk to you about it. And it's the quote, "Fake it till you make it." And I put a question mark next to it because I want you to really think about, is this actually up to such a degree that we spend our lives faking it? And we wonder why at the end of the day, something feels of the Bible called the Message. And I love this quote of his. He said, "We become experts at impersonating ourselves." We become experts at pretending to be ourselves. Now think about what it would be like to spend the rest of your life pretending to be yourself instead of becoming the person that God has created you to be. And he goes on to say this. He said, "We are secure not because we are sure of ourselves, but because we trust that God is sure of us." And this is a very big difference, guys. I'm just going to tell you right now, you don't have to fake it till you make it. I know, and sometimes in life, you got to put on the face and you got to push forward. That's great. That could either be faking it, or it can be choosing courage and faith in who God says you are. Leave it so you can be. He knows more about you than you do, and he wants to show you who he's made you to be. And so that being the case, those are the quotes. Sometimes you can live according to quotes. Now, you can also live according to memes. I'm going to show you a few quick memes you might have seen. There's what's called Bad Luck Brian. I don't know if you've seen this one before. It's basically like whatever he does is bad. Well, Brian actually grew up, and this is an older picture of his, but he grew up and he actually became a guy who invests in skateboards. He does skateboards for a living now. Let's go to the next slide. So this is Brian. Okay, the reason I wanted to show you this is because somebody who is a very real person became a joke that we recycle over and over and over again. Okay, here's another one. This guy's called Scumbag Steve. I don't know if you've ever seen Scumbag Steve before. But again, the whole idea is we took a very real guy. Here's another photo of him as he's gotten older. We took a very real guy, and we now have turned him into a joke. Can we go to the next slide? So Steve, Scumbag Steve, again, got older, and he said, "I have learned through all the memes that I need to learn how to live more genuinely in my life." Okay, there's this other guy. This meme is called "Trying to Hold a Fart Next to a Cute Girl in Class." I debated on whether or not I should show this one to you because everybody loves the word fart, of course. And obviously, if you could see, his vein is bulging in his head. Well, the good news is he did grow up. He released the fart, apparently. But he said that meme has caused him again to really rethink photos that he takes of himself. Here's the problem with memes. Memes are a reliance on sarcasm that reduces others. And I know that we've all used them, and I know we've all, found funny things in them. But again, I want to just put you in this mentality because these are all very real people that we have turned into a joke. And I want you to think about how often in your life, maybe you're smiling, you're going, "Oh, it must be great to be you," right? You're smiling, but you are reducing another person so that by reducing them, you feel better about yourself. This is, again, some of the things that we do, we try to get by. Think about what that does in the long run. Now, another thing that we try to get by is new people. We put new people into our lives. This is basically swapping everyone around to find the perfect blank. So maybe you were friends with a group of people. Do you remember how you used to be friends with a group of people a long time ago and you're not friends with them anymore? We all have, okay? Maybe it was like in your neighborhood. You met one day and you're like, "You like grape, hubba bubba? I do too, let's be best friends." That's how you became best friends. You had an affinity for the same gum, and that was it. Or you found just you all were on the same sports team, but then all of that ended. You moved. You quit that sports team, and suddenly you weren't friends anymore. Okay, so sometimes this naturally happens, but other times we go, you know what? I'm tired of my friends. I'm just going to find new friends. And sometimes it's for very good reasons. Sometimes it's for very bad reasons. Other times we swap new people in our lives by dating. We want to find the next person who's going to make us feel 100%. And I'm just going to tell you again, only God can do that in your life. God's vision, believe it or not, is that you would be 100% in him. Somebody else would be 100% in him. And together, you're whole people creating a whole relationship. But sometimes we only want to go 30% in our life. We want somebody else to fill the 70%. And so we swap boyfriend after boyfriend or girlfriend after girlfriend in our lives, hoping that maybe they will fulfill us. And even asking after privately, man, you rotate that around from person to person. Like last week it was this person, and this week it's this person, right? And so, again, be very careful with that. Other times it's who you look at online. You follow a new celebrity, and you are their follower, and they're your guru, and whatever they say, you're like, oh, this is so incredible. I can't believe how smart they are, right? And you do that for a while, but then you go, I'm done with you. I'm moving on to the next famous person. And you just keep going. So again, sometimes to get by, we try swapping new people in and around our life. Another thing that we do is habits. And these can be positive or negative. You might say, you know what, to be healthier, I'm going to exercise more. That's a great habit. Awesome. Very cool. Or you might say, you know what, I'm just going to throw myself into the internet. I'm throwing myself on the line. I'm going to throw myself on my phone. And again, that could be a positive or a very negative, addictive behavior. You might even get addicted to something else. Your favorite whatever. You got your favorite drink. You got to have it every morning. Whatever the case would be. Like sometimes we have addictions that we excuse because they're habits. Now, what I want to pitch to you on this is eat to a routine. And if that routine is ever rattled, school, anybody? If that routine is ever rattled, we feel devastated because we have grown so dependent on our habits that we now know what to do. And God knows that there's going to be disappointment in your life, but he doesn't want you to live devastated. He wants you to live in such a way where you develop and you grow. And again, habits can be very good, but if you just stop at habits, it can be a really dangerous or include religion. And the way I want to describe religion to you is it's a backward search. You see, religion is our search for God. It is our desire to do holy things that sort of muster up a better sense of God in our lives. Again, not a bad thing, except it's backward. Because what God offers you is he offers you the beginning of the search. You see, way before you started looking for God, he was looking for you. He was searching for you. And Christianity is God's search for man. Religion is our search for God, which is really weird. Every religion in the world is really our sense of trying to find God when God the whole time has been like, hey, I'm here. Will you just let me? And so all of religion in many ways can sum up the first three things. We can try to find better quotes in religion. We can try to find better people in religion. Maybe that's why you're here tonight. You like these people. That's awesome. But again, if that's your only goal, it's short-sighted. And maybe you're trying to find better habits in religion. Again, great. But if that's your stopping point, you're missing it. Because there is something bigger and better than this. You know, we can mistake going to church for following Jesus. I'm so glad you guys are here. I'm going to say it over and over again. I'm so glad you're here. Because by being here, you are open, not just to what we're sharing, not just to the ideas we're sharing, but you might tonight actually be open to the person of Jesus Christ. Only he can transform your life forever. You can change it for a while. You can impersonate yourself for a while. But Jesus can transform your life forever. And I hope you let him tonight, if you haven't already. And if you have, you got to stay on this journey with him. Let me read you three things quickly that God tells us. The first is, Jesus pointed out, he said, these people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. I want you to think about everything we've talked about tonight. Again, maybe it sounds really good. You're saying all the right things. I want to have good people in my life. I want to have good habits in my life. And I want to feel like, I've got good wisdom in my life. That's all great. There were a lot of people in the Bible who wanted that, a group of them especially called the Pharisees, but their hearts were far from God. And God said, look, I see through all that. I'm glad your intention is to grow, but don't just stop short at human wisdom. In fact, God doesn't even want you to stop short at his wisdom. He wants you to embrace him, not even just his wisdom. Sometimes you got to start with his wisdom and go, he's actually quite trustworthy. He is. In fact, Jesus said this. He said, look, you're wanting all this stuff? I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. For the longest time, I didn't understand what this verse meant. I'm like, well, wait, hang on. Who's Jesus? Who's the Father? Who's the Holy Spirit? And you realize that they are one, and yet Jesus plays a very significant role in coming to earth and dying on the cross for our sins, for your sins, for mine. Not just the bad things you do, but our inability to get out of doing those things. He died for your sin nature, and he wants you to choose him. And he's already chosen you to have a relationship with him if you would embrace it. So again, you have that opportunity with him, and he wants you to embrace him. And this is how you do it. And I just grabbed this verse because this is all throughout the Bible, but I think this verse says it really clearly. It says, incline your ear. Think about what that means. Incline your ear and come to me. Hear, and your soul shall live. I'm going to ask you to try something tonight that maybe you've not done before. And I'm going to ask you to do it even in the midst of everybody here. And it's to do what this verse says. To incline your ear, which means you're just going to take a very open posture before God and say, hey, God, kind of on the inside, hey, God, I want to listen to you. I want to hear in my life the things you want to say to me. And I want to live. I want you to bring life into my life. Can we just try this for like 30 seconds, okay? And I'm not saying that like in this moment you're going to hear the audible voice of God. If you do, please let me know because that would be amazing. But what I do think could happen is just your soul might open up to God in a way. And I'll walk you through this, okay? So close your eyes with me for a moment. And incline your ear means try to lose the distractions around you for a moment. Try to really lean into who God is. Even if you don't know who he is, say, God, I want to get to know you better. I want to hear you in my life. And I want your life in my life. In fact, let's keep going with this. Maybe tonight you're thinking, I've never done this before. I would just encourage you, keep going with this, okay? Say, yes, Jesus, come into my life. Come into my life now. I want a relationship with you that's real. I invite you to be my Savior and my Lord. And if you just prayed that prayer, or if you've prayed it in the past, let's keep going. Let's keep going. And God, help me, please, in the coming days, even tonight, to follow you in every area of my life. To put you first in every area of my life. Show me who I am and not who I have to pretend to be. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, listen, that is as simple as it begins. And then everything that happens after that is about trusting and continuing to grow with him. In fact, this whole idea of walk the talk, here's just a quick summary thought for you for tonight. Trust your life to follow Jesus, the actual person of Jesus, not just who you think he is, not just your religious ideas. Again, we want you guys to be here tonight. We want you to come back. We want you to keep growing. And in the coming weeks, we're going to talk about a lot of heavy stuff that a lot of us don't know what to do with. And we want to have the courage together to go through it together. And we're going to be talking with your leaders, and we're going to be talking with you guys about really unpacking all this stuff. But this is where it begins. It begins by you trusting your life, your whole life, to the person of who Jesus is. On your chair, there was a card. And I'm just going to ask you tonight to let us know what you decided tonight, because it helps us to know how to follow up with you and to encourage you. And for those of you maybe who began a relationship with Jesus tonight, you would say, hey, I want to say I said yes, and put your name on it, because we give you next steps. We actually hand you, if you tell us, and send it in the mail to you, next steps, things to read in the Bible that God says are true about you. And even tonight, if you're like, hey, I have said yes in the past, it's great. There is a space for you to check tonight that says, I have also taken a step. I want to continue to trust and to follow God in my life. There's space for you. So everybody tonight, hopefully just take literally 30 seconds right now. Fill that out. We're going to collect those in a moment. And then we're going to continue to walk through the night together. So I'm literally going to shut up for like 30 seconds. I'm going to ask you guys, go ahead and fill that out. Go for it. God loves you. He is so grateful for the steps you want to take with him. And if you're still figuring it out, that's totally fine. But if you said yes tonight, let us know. If you took other steps, let us know. If you're still thinking about it, you can let us know too. Totally fine. Now, I know that was a lot, and yet we kind of did it in a short amount of time. So we're going to keep going with this, okay? In a moment, I'm going to ask you to actually turn, and you're going to talk to your small group leaders and actually hand them your cards so they can collect them, and they'll turn them in later. We're going to do some small group icebreakers. Now, I want to quickly say something. I want everybody to hear this, whatever room you're in. I want to make sure you hear this. I know that how we are currently doing Wednesday nights is different than how we've done it in the past, if you've been here in the past. We are trying to be as smart as we can about how to keep our space with each other, but also have community. And I know that sometimes as everybody talks in the room, it gets loud, and maybe that frustrates you. We are working on figuring that out, and I'm just going to ask you, would you just hang with us while we figure that out? Okay, I know maybe it might get frustrating for you, especially if you're introverted or you're kind of like noise drives you crazy. Hang with us, okay? And to help with that tonight, we're going to try something with small groups that I think will actually be kind of fun. I'm going to read like a prompt, I'll say, hey, McDonald's or Burger King, and your small group leader is just going to point to somebody in the group, and that's the only person who speaks. They're going to point to that person, and you have to quickly, like in 5 seconds or less, give an answer to the question, okay? So a lot of this is just going to be fun and energetic and spontaneous, and then we'll answer maybe a little deeper question, and then we'll just close with prayer requests, okay? So everybody right now, turn to your small groups, okay? If you don't know, there should be somebody around you, a leader of some sort. If you want to divide leaders up, totally fine, okay? And again, keep appropriate space with each other, very important. Take about 30 seconds to do this, wherever you're at, 30 seconds. Yes. You got it, absolutely, yep, for sure, go for it. All right, first things first, get to know the people in your group. Just go around, share your name. Share your names. All right, check yourselves. Make sure you know everybody's name. All right, we're going to start in about 30 seconds. I'm going to put the first question up here, the first prompt, and leaders will point to a student, and everybody else, if you aren't being pointed to, you're on mute. Okay, so can everybody go to mute real quick? Everybody, shh. And here we go. Okay, so here's the first one. Share a favorite place you like to relax. Okay, leaders, point to the person. Share a favorite place you like to relax. Should have slides for these. I don't know if we do. Load them. Only if you're being pointed to should you be talking. All right, here's the next one. Name what color Power Ranger you would be. Power Ranger. Name what color Power Ranger you would be. Hey, Jen. All right, here's the next one. Do pineapples belong on pizza? Only if you're being pointed to. Do pineapples belong on pizza? Jen Korost? No. All right, here's the next one. Again, only if you're being pointed to. When was the last time you went camping? Anywhere, your backyard, somewhere. When was the last time you went camping? Jen? All right, here's the next one. Which is better, Marvel or DC? The slides for these?
I didn't see those slides.
Okay, all right. Yeah, if you can look for them. If you can find them. Yeah, thanks. Marvel or DC? All right, next one. Only if you're being pointed to. Name somebody famous or memorable that you have met. Somebody famous or memorable that you have met. All right, next one. Name a delicious snack. All right, next one. What is one thing you want to do when you're older and you retire? What's one thing you want to do when you're older and you retire? All right, hang on. How we doing with only talking if you're being pointed to? How we doing? Okay, fix that, okay? Again, only if you're being pointed to. All right, here's the next one. What is something you are thankful that your parents pay for? What is something you're thankful your parents pay for? Only if you're being pointed to. All right, next one. What was the last movie you saw in a theater? What was the last movie you saw in a theater? Name a favorite memory from the summer. Name a favorite memory from the summer. All right. Now, want your attention real quick, guys? Want attention real quick? Hopefully your other rooms are doing good. I want to just make an observation. It is still getting louder, I think, because some of you, to get by in the moment, do little side conversations. That's one of those little observations, okay? And even though, your leader's asking for something, your moments feel better. And sometimes it's side talking to a friend. We got to be really careful with that in this room, guys, so that everybody can hear each other. We don't have to yell. Now, I'm going to actually ask you a question about that. We talked tonight about the different things that we try to get by. What do you think students that you know tend to do to get by? So the question's up here on the screen if you want to reread it. But basically, give your thoughts. I gave you mine. What do you think a lot of people your age do to try to get a couple minutes, okay? Oh, one more minute. All right, try to finish up your thought, guys. All right, here's just the last thing we're going to do. If you're willing to, would you just, if you've got a prayer request, would you just let your group know about it and try to share it in like a sentence or two, not too much more than that, for the sake of time and making sure everybody can share. If you're up for like, hey, can you guys just pray for me in this or pray for my family in this? Just make it super quick, super short, and your leaders will write it down and pray for you at the end. So take a moment, go ahead and do that. For the sake of time, just one more minute, guys. One more minute. All right, finish up, guys. Finish up. Adam. All right, thank you very much for opening up and for sharing and maybe taking a risk in your group, guys. Really cool. If your group didn't get a chance to actually pray, your leader will be praying for you, and just know that in the coming weeks we'll spend a little more time. We'll get to you have that chance to share. Adam's going to come on up here. He and I are going to share a few quick announcements. If you still have your notes, want to draw your attention to. First of all, how many of you have a birthday in September? Anybody have a September birthday? Yeah. Okay. Welcome to the club. It is awesome to have a birthday in September. Just so you know, we do this thing every month called the Box of Fun. And next week we're doing the Box of Fun. So if you have a birthday in September, it's pretty awesome. We put our hands in. You get something random. It could be amazing.
Candy,
yeah.
silly string.
Could be lame. Could be super lame. But it's yours. That's the point. It's yours. So come back next week. Also, how many of you don't have a birthday in September? Raise your hand. That's everybody else, right? We actually have something for you, too. We have something free for you next week. Not going to tell you what it is. So come check that out. Also, there's this really cool thing called See You at the Pole.
Yeah.
And
something this Wednesday, I think 7 a.m. Is that correct?
yeah. Hey, listen up. This is really important, guys. Listen up.
Yeah, so see you at the pool. It's this Wednesday. I think we're still working out some details with the schools and stuff with the social distancing, but just have that in your mind that Wednesday morning we're going to be doing that. So, but we'll get you more details. I think we're just kind of working things out right now. But
Yeah, if you follow us on Instagram, we'll put some information there, also Facebook. But basically, this is a national event where students go to their flagpoles and pray. We know for sure the Monticello High School has given the thumbs up for this. We're going to be calling the other schools. But I was talking to another pastor in town today, and we both just agreed, like, whatever we can do to encourage you guys to pray for your schools. We want to be there and support you. Our team will be there in whatever way we can. So check with your school, and we will check with your schools too. But typically, this is a 7 a.m. show up at the flagpole. I know for sure Principal Carr at the Monticello schools, he said, yep, totally a fan. Just make sure everybody keeps their distance because we just need to do that. And I said, yep, we will pass that along. So really important. Now, we want to tell you two more things. We're going to play Color Wars in just a few moments. We want to teach you how the game works. We actually have a slide. And so, Adam, tell us a little bit about how this works.
yeah, so you can see the main focus of the game is going to be that fill bucket in the middle. Basically, the goal of your team is to fill that bucket. But the thing is, there's going to be two teams. You're going to be rotating offense and defense. So basically, offense, you're going to be wanting to fill the bucket. That's your whole goal. You're not even really going to be tagging people. All you're doing is just filling the bucket. So your buckets are going to be on the side there. You're just grabbing you're just filling it and going to the middle. And the defense is just trying to stop the offense. So you're just trying to tag, trying to get them colored, basically, the fun part. And basically, at the end, we're going to weigh the buckets to see kind of who weighed the most. So that's kind of the goal of the game. And we might even do a little fun free-for-all at the end where we're just going crazy and just trying to get as much color on our
When you say tag, okay, so what happens is if you're on the defense, you're trying to stop the offense. It's like capture the flag, and you put color powder in your cup, and you throw it at them. That's what tagging means, okay? And they get totally drenched. Now, if you get hit, it's the honor system, you have to go back to your side and start over. You have to take your cup of whatever you had, turn it over if you're on the offense, and go back to your side and start over. Now, you will play offense for 5 minutes and the other team's defense, and then we'll switch. And so it's just going to be a fun time. Before we leave this room, we're actually going to divide you into two groups. So we want to make sure that every room has wristbands. So whoever is in charge of wristbands, and that's not me, I'm hoping wristbands will be in this room and in all the other rooms. Please make sure that that happens in the next few moments. Now I want to tell you guys something. This is actually very personal, and I'm going to ask you to please listen for the next few minutes. Okay? I wasn't here last week, and I was sick. Listen, please. This is actually very important to me, and hopefully it's important to you. I wasn't here last week. I was sick. I was actually sick for a while. I had COVID. I'm just going to say this out loud so everybody hears this. I had COVID. I was diagnosed with COVID. I am past COVID. I am okay to be here. I want to make sure everybody hears that too. But I want to make sure you hear this. It is a very real thing. And I know that right now it's in the news, and maybe it's very distant from you, or maybe you know somebody who's had it. I'm just going to tell you from experience what I went through the last couple of weeks, I want for none of you to go through. So when we say, hey, everybody, can you please physically distant, and you nod your head, but then you kind of conveniently forget, it actually bothers me, and I hope it bothers you and other people, because this is a very real thing that we are all going through. Now, I'm not sharing that to scare you. I'm sharing that because I love that you're here, and I want us to keep doing this. And so tonight during the game, if you hear the word freeze, I want to ask you literally to freeze where you're at, because we will be seeing something in the game that maybe you don't. Maybe you are on top of somebody else and you're just having fun, and that's great. But we want you to freeze and realize we have to start doing this more, because we are continuing to get families who are saying, I don't feel safe sending my kid to Wednesday nights. And we don't want that. We want to make sure this is safe for everybody. I'm going to ask you to remember this, because yes, I'm past it and I've got antibodies and that's all great, but I'm going to continue to wear a mask because it is appropriate for our culture and it is a sign of an example. I'm also going to continue to ask you, please be wise. Even if right now you're not spacing yourself from your small group, I'm going to ask you to rethink that in the future and to rethink it even tonight. It is so easy to forget. It's so easy to not want to remember, but please hear me. I had a lot of scary moments over the last couple of weeks personally, and I had to just trust God, and he brought me through it, and I'm so grateful. But I don't want that for any of you. And I hope that you just take that in seriously. And I hope that you understand why I wasn't here the last couple of weeks, because I care about you and I wanted to be wise. And so please keep that in mind. That said, we are going to go out. We're going to have fun. And I hope that you remember in the course of the night to just have a good time. But again, please distance yourself as we do, okay? Every room, before we leave, we need to divide into 2 equal co-ed groups, okay? So all I'm going to ask you to do is pick a side of the room. You can do it by small group if you want. So one side of the room over here is the blue team. This side over here is the pink team. You decide, but it has to be even. Please clean up after yourselves, too. Pick up your pens. Give them to your small group leaders. They can put those in their bins. And once the teams are even, we will pass out wristbands and we'll go outside. Give your pens to your small group leaders. Okay, don't leave the room just yet, guys. Don't leave the room. Don't leave the room. Don't leave the room. We need to separate into 2 equal teams, co-ed. Yes. What's that? Yes. Yeah, this is all very washable. You can totally wash it off your clothes later. So if you want to participate, just know it is washable. Okay, all right, great. Okay, if you got your wristbands and you know your team, we will head out here in just a moment. If you don't yet have a wristband, who's passing out wristbands right now? Anybody in this room passing them out? You already got them, great. Okay, we are going to go out. Actually, first thing we're going to do is take a photo outside, and then we're going to play the game. So everybody head on out. We'll see you out there in just a moment.